What is good, YouTube? We're back with another video, and not even gonna lie, a dude does not have that much energy, to be honest, bro. Today was a long day at school, a long day, long day, and I'm tired and I have a headache, so this video might be a little bit short. But yeah, how has y'all day been?
We do not care.
Today's fit, not even gonna lie, it's a little calm fit, To be honest, I can't even see it. So. Feel me? We got the kicks. The Pink Orchard Forest. Oh shit. Feel me? We got the Prestige hoodie with the golden nugget earrings. Circle chain of my aunt. Rest in peace, Keisha. With also Eye of Egypt. And Serenade jeans. And yeah. That's our fit. Oh yeah, with the Apple Watch. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and get right into this video. Impulse Game Studios. Alright guys, welcome to Midnight Evil. Now this game I've heard about and seen Corey Kenshin and them play this. This game is basically a reading game that we're going to be playing today. Now, before I tried to record this last night, but I've had some microphone issues with the book. So, yeah. But we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put the whole storyline thing in this video. And we're just going to, erase this and get to the part. So, let's erase the saved data. Okay, so it's a little boy sleeping. Tonight was different though. He woke to a strange sound coming from the attic. What the hell is on the wall? Yeah, nah, y'all already got it, to be honest, bro. Just based off of that painting, y'all got it. Y'all got it. Is it? Oh, I thought it was a click through. I was gonna say. As he climbed the stairs, he felt something. Okay, a red box. The audio is so glitchy, bro. We got Tails' fat ass just sleeping in my room. He had never seen this chest before. I don't know what motivated him to go into the attic either way. Just an innocent book. Tonight his life would change forever. Okay. Nathan Sanders presents. Midnight Herbal.
Shut your bitch ass up!
I'm such a fat fucking chud. Alright, so boom, we're finally into the game. Alright, decent looking room, not even gonna lie. My room is definitely better than this, but it's a little chill spot, twin size. There's a lot of twin size bed, maybe full size. Can't fuck any bad bitches on here, but
Hey yo, what the fuck?
let's go ahead and get started. Alright. Okay, so I forgot to put it in narrator. Oh my gosh. Forgot to put it in narrator mode, guys. That's my fault.
You're a fucking idiot.
Alright, there we go. Long before the first humans stood upright and took their place in the world, there was a beautiful land that was ruled by what many would come to call the Fae. There were ancient beings who were worshipped by mankind, but they were also feared. Humans were right to be afraid, for there were many different creatures that lived in the darkness. Okay, see, we already starting this. These ancient beings were worshipped by mankind, but they were also feared. Humans were right to be afraid, for there were many different creatures that lived in the darkness, watching us, waiting. Most most were harmless enough, amusing themselves by causing mischief and playing pranks on humans that crossed their paths. Jesus Christ, my fucking eye itch. The fuck was that? However, some had more sinister intentions. The Earthlings, for example, have developed a liking for the taste of human children. Yo. These monsters are small, unnaturally fast, and impossible to kill. It was an unlucky tragedy for my people that we decided to build our village here right in the middle of the Earthling territory. We have lost so many of our children over the past few years, there aren't enough tears in this world to weep for their loss. Thankfully, though, my grandmother taught me well in the ways of my druid ancestors. I may not be able to kill the little beasts, but I was able to work out a spell that binds them to this book. I can only hide it and pray that it never falls into the hands of a child. Well, that didn't fucking work. If you are reading this, know that I'm truly sorry for the demons that have now been passed on to you. Opening the book will have awakened them, and I'm sure they will be ravenously hungry. Once the book is opened, you must read it out loud from beginning to end in order to return them to their magical prison. Be watchful. They only attack if you don't see them coming. Most important... Oh, hell no. We're not finna start this. Most importantly, once you finish this book, keep it hidden so that no one ever opens it again. Most importantly, once you finish this book, keep it hidden so that no one ever opens it again. All right.
WIGS FM 98.7 Game Talk.
Hello, darkness. My name is Nick Gloom.
Okay, Nick Gloom.
It's just me tonight. As you guys know, we answer game questions and talk tips and tricks.
Hold on, I gotta take these shoes off.
Nate
Man.
usually does. I don't really play most of those games. Anyway, let's get to the phones. First caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Nick. I'm wondering, how do I beat the final boss in Shermanator?
Bro, these are so hard to take off.
How would I know that?
Nigga, you work here.
I don't know.
I'm stuck here working for crap money. I still can't afford to buy new Atari games. Would you like me to page Nate?
I don't
Here's
know.
the thing.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm working here. I don't usually come on the radio, so I don't have as much of a bedside manner as Nate does. But it's totally fine. I bought a new OBasic book, which is the programming language for Atari, since I can't afford to buy my own Atari games, and I'm working on my own homebrew game. The pending title is Evil Midnight.
It's literally the
where
game name,
I'm
but
not
backwards.
Sure what
That's
you're
so
gonna have
lazy.
to do yet, but I think it's going to be a horror game, and it's going to be at nighttime, and it's going to be evil. Basically, you would do something all night, and then you would win. It's kind of like working here.
All right, I'm guessing this is night 2. Okay. Chapter 1. Little Maggie O'Brien was the first. The children had been playing in the Hogan's Forest when they all heard a noise. The children had been playing in Hogan's Forest when they all heard a noise. Sensing no danger because there were so many of them, 12 children in all decided to investigate the source of the strange sound. The children had been playing in Hogan's Forest when they all heard the noise. Sensing no danger because there were so many of them, 12 children in all decided to investigate the source of the strange sound. As they all searched high and low, they soon realized that Maggie was missing. Frantically, they began searching for their friend. She was a small girl who loved to play hide and seek.
Your little pussy belongs to me.
What the hell was that? I look like I didn't see that ugly ass nigga. She was a small girl who loved to play hide and seek. She was a small girl who loved to play hide and seek. Her big brother Colin insisted that she was probably hiding somewhere safe and giggling to herself as she watched everyone search for her. She was a small girl who loved to play hide and seek. Her big brother Colin insisted that she was probably hiding somewhere safe and giggling to herself as she watched everyone search for her. The sun sank low in the sky and the forest grew dark. The children, frustrated and panicked, ran back to the village to alert their parents that little Maggie was nowhere to be found. That's when everyone lit torches and spread out through the woods calling her name. The children, frustrated and panicked, ran back to the village to alert their parents that little Maggie was nowhere to be found. That's when everyone lit torches and spread out through the woods calling her name. The little girl's mother sobbed desperately as we all inspected every corner of those woods in hopes of finding her. Her brother kept searching, tears streaming down his cheeks. "I'm her big brother," he said, rubbing his eyes. "I'm her big brother," he said, rubbing his eyes. "I'm supposed to make sure nothing happens to her." "It's not your fault, Colin," I assured him. "We'll find her soon, and she'll be no worse for the wear."
I made the mess.
Scared the shit out of me. Okay. He nodded, forced a smile, and we all continued looking. The moment I heard him scream, I knew he had found her. Or rather, what's left of her. Which wasn't that much. Hold on. Or rather, what was left of her, which wasn't much. We were sure it was Maggie because she had worn her favorite hair bow that day. Her father plucked the pink ribbon from her body and fell to his knees. Her father plucked the pink ribbon from the body and fell to his knees, wailing into the darkness. Her father plucked the pink ribbon from the body and fell to his knees, wailing into the darkness. Poor Colin tried to tell us then. He said that she had been covered in what he described as little green men. He said that she had been covered in what he described as little green men. Dude, I feel like a first grader reading, bro. They were fat and green. They were fat and green, he stammered. Oh, fuck. They were fat and green, he stammered. With bright glowing eyes. What the fuck, my nigga? With bright glowing eyes. They were biting off bits of skin and flesh. No one believed the lad. We all attributed the horrible ordeal to a hungry wild animal, of course. What else could it possibly be? Scooping up what remained of little Maggie, the townsfolk set to work preparing for her funeral. We all attributed the horrible ordeal to a hungry wild animal, of course. What else could possibly be? Scooping up what remained of little Maggie, the townsfolk set to work preparing for her funeral. Of course, what else could it possibly be? Scooping up what remained of little Maggie, the townsfolk set to work preparing for her funeral. We had no idea the horrors that lay ahead. I thought to myself how strange her wounds looked. I couldn't help but think back to what Colin had said about the little green men. It made me think of the stories It made me think. Okay, so he just said fuck it. She said that our druid ancestors spoke of tiny creatures that lived long ago in the swamps and the marshes surrounding our lands. The Earthlings, she called them. There were 3 tribes, each being their own breed of evil. One tribe I recall, One tribe okay, so you just gonna say fuck it? They would lure children away from safety and feast on their flesh. The fuck? Okay. All right, I'm gonna try to read this in 10 seconds. Not even gonna lie. Hold on. Try to read this in 10 seconds. Okay. We didn't live near any swamps. Surely the boy's mind was playing tricks on him. Besides, the Earthlings weren't real. They couldn't be. Besides, the Earthlings weren't real. They couldn't be. They couldn't be. Okay. I guess that's the first night. I don't know.
Well, no fucking shit.
Okay. Chapter 2. Maggie O'Brien's funeral was just what anyone would expect. Everyone did their best to comfort the grieving parents. Maggie O'Brien's funeral was just what anyone would expect. Everyone did their best to comfort the grieving parents. Everyone did their best to comfort the grieving parents. Colin kept to himself. Everyone assumed it was because he blamed himself. After his sister had been laid to rest, I came to him to ask him how he was doing. Oh, he got, damn, what the fuck? Yo, oh my gosh, that's a crazy ass stutter. He looked up at me, eyes red from either crying, lack of sleep, or a combination of the two, and said, I really saw them, the green little monsters. My heart ached as I put my arms around the boy. I kept telling myself that seeing his little sister in pieces couldn't have been easy for him. He was just in shock. The stories of the Earthlings were only told to scare children into doing what they were told, that was all. The first thing my grandmother told me about the Earthlings was that there were 3 tribes. The green ones had round bellies and piercing blue eyes. She said they could be heard if you walked deep in the swamp at night. The green ones had round bellies and piercing blue eyes. She said they could be heard if you walked deep in the swamp at night. Okay. I'm guessing that's the little fucker that keep bothering me. They would laugh and sing as they danced around their campfires, which would appear only as tiny flickering lights through the trees. Okay. Oh, what's that? Okay, I think I got an Easter egg. They were the least lethal of the 3 tribes, but every bit as evil. The red ones were more temperamental and even faster than the green cousins. The fuck? They didn't sing or dance around campfires, and their celebrations were a bit more gruesome. They prefer to eat children from the inside out. God damn. It was even thought by some that they were only red because they were stained by the blood of their victims. Fiery red bristle-like hair sprouted from the tops of their heads, and their glowing yellow eyes seemed cold and calculating. Where? Bro, we not finna start this. Okay, the pale Earthlings were in another class altogether. They had white skin and wild, untamed blue hair that flowed out in every direction. The pale, your fucking fat breath ass. The most unsettling thing about them was that they had no eyes at all. Yet they somehow were the most keen and efficient killers of the 3. Grandmother said that their long, wiry hair could somehow sense the presence and locations of children. Oh, you trying to jump niggas now. There were some things that all 3 tribes had in common. Earthlings Bro, this nigga getting more and more feisty. Earthlings preferred to eat after midnight and would only attack if the children didn't make direct eye contact with them. Earthlings preferred to eat after midnight and would only attack if the children didn't make a direct eye contact with them. I reassured myself that the O'Brien girl being attacked barely after sunset meant that she had to have been the victim of a wild animal attack. A few of the men in the village came together to hunt down the beast that killed the girl. They came back 2 days later carrying the carcass of a large wolf. The whole village breathed a sigh of relief and had a big celebration. The whole village breathed a sigh of relief and a big celebration was held. The only one besides myself that remained anxious was Colin. Looking at his face that night, I knew that he believed the creatures that killed Maggie were still out there waiting. He was right. Okay, that's night 2.
WIGS FM 98.7.
All right, we're gonna do one more chapter and then we're done. Chapter 3. Hold on, gotta fix the mic. The next day, Maggie's mother visited her daughter's grave, discovering something that was more than a little strange. The next day, Maggie's mother visited her daughter's grave, discovering something that was more than a little strange. The next day, oh shit. The earth on the grave was disturbed as if something had clawed its way out. I couldn't help but remember what grandmother had said about the red earthlings. The earth on the grave was disturbed as if something had clawed its way out. I couldn't help but remember what grandmother had said about the red earthlings. They would burrow inside their victims and eat their way out.
Please, ma'am.
Nigga already starting. They would bury inside. They would burrow. Okay. Could it be that we brought a whole tribe of them right into the village without even knowing it? The answer would come soon enough. Bro, hold on, because my eyes goddamn burn. What the fuck? I think it's my goddamn sunscreen. It's irritating my eyes. The answer would come soon enough. Jacob McLaurin was found torn to shreds in his bed the following morning. Obviously, a wild animal hadn't attacked him inside his own house. Another devastated family and another funeral this soon after Maggie didn't sit well with anyone. The atmosphere became even more tense and uncomfortable. I insisted on inspecting Jacob's remains myself, just to reassure myself that there was nothing hiding inside. Oh my gosh, bro, my eyes goddamn burn. Oh my gosh, what the fuck? Okay, we should be good. Oh my gosh. It's like I fucking poured hot sauce in my eyes. Okay. Another devastated family and another funeral this soon after Maggie didn't sit well with anyone. The atmosphere became even more tense and uncomfortable. I insisted. What? Oh, that's the red. Oh, I have to look at it multiple times. Okay, I think we're good. I insisted on inspecting Jacob's remains myself just to reassure myself that there was nothing hiding inside. Colin approached me afterwards, asking what I was looking for. I told him it was nothing, but he knew better. The fuck? I told him it was nothing, but he knew better. You believe me about the monsters, don't you? His young face was determined as he spoke. You're the only one that doesn't look at me like I'm crazy. I swallowed hard and started to deny it, but the words caught in my throat, and as much as I tried, I couldn't lie. Listen, I put my hands on his shoulders. I don't think you're crazy, but we need to be sure of what we're dealing with before we spark a full-blown panic. Tell me exactly what happened. Colin took a deep breath, working up his nerve. I don't think you're crazy, but we need to be sure of what we're dealing with before we spark a full-blown panic. Tell me exactly what happened. Colin took a deep breath, working up his nerve. Colin took a deep breath, working up. I can't read in peace. It was so dark, but I had a good torch. I called her name over and over. She didn't answer. It was so dark, but I had a good torch. I called her name over and over, and she didn't answer. Are we good? we go. Then I heard something. It sounded like chewing. It sounded like chewing. I took a few more steps and saw her laying there. All over her were these green, fat little monsters. It sounded like chewing. I took a few more steps and saw her laying there. All over her were these fat, green little monsters. All over her were these fat, little green monsters. They had mouthfuls of pointy teeth that looked like needles and massive clawed hands. Just then, a twig snapped under my feet, and they all stopped what they were doing and looked right at me. That's when I screamed and they scattered. Okay. That's when I screamed and scattered. They were gone before any of the grown-ups got to me. His eyes filled with tears at the memory. His eyes filled with tears at the memory. Please tell me what they are. He was no more than 11 or 12, having just lost his sister and now his friend. His eyes filled with tears at the memory. Please tell me what they are. Where? The fuck? He was no more than 11 or 12, having just lost his sister and now his friend. No one had believed him when he tried to tell us before. It couldn't have been easy, but he opened up to me. I felt it right at. It couldn't have been easy, but he opened right up to me. I felt it only right that I tell him what I knew. We sat together by the bonfire late into the night, and I told him all the old stories. Unfortunately, the one thing my grandmother hadn't mentioned was how to get rid of them. Looking into the flames, I got an idea. Unfortunately, the one thing that my grandmother hadn't mentioned was how to get rid of them. Looking into the flames, I got an idea. I knew that most unholy creatures were repelled by fire. Oh, we jumping niggas now. Oh, baby, you're weird. Well, Colin folded his arms. Colin folded his arms. We will just have to test what happens to an Earthling when it's on fire. Well, Colin folded his arms. We will just have to test what happens to an Earthling when it's on fire. Okay, that's chapter 3. Also, there's different animations for different night endings. I ain't gonna lie, that's cool. So I'm gonna have to end it here, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. We will be continuing this. This is probably gonna be a double upload today. It depends on how I feel after uploading this video. If you guys like the video, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you go to work, get that money, make sure you go to school, get that schoolwork done. Not gonna lie, I like this book. I feel like Castanet, not even gonna lie, bro. I might start journaling and shit. But to be honest, I can't read to save my life, and I'm pretty sure I heard all that stuttering and shit. But I kinda am yapping right now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Make sure you comment if you think I should play any different games. And I do have some spicy stuff coming up for y'all guys, probably next week, who knows. I'm gonna see you guys later, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and bye.